Hey guys. Today we would like to introduce to you the movie, Great Expectations. The film is adapted from the serialized novel by Charles Dickens. The story happened in England in the 19th century. Little Pip loses his parents. He lives with an older sister who is easily triggered. Fortunately, his brother-in-law Joe is very kind. Always cares about Pip. Pip is a very carefree, upright, and honest boy. The boy learns from Joe to become a blacksmith. But then something happens that changes Pip's mind and fate. A few days before Christmas, Pip meets a man covered in mud. His hands are chained, looking fierce. He threatens the boy, demands Pip to bring him food. Otherwise, he will be thrown to a witch. Pip is scared, reaching home. Steal bread and a pot of wine. Bring the stuff to the riverbank, and give them to the ferocious man. He uses the knife that Pip carries. Frantically cuts the iron chain. By that time, Pip immediately runs away. When the whole family rejoices to celebrate Christmas, a few soldiers come to find the blacksmith to forge the chains. Tell everyone to go find the escaped prisoners together. The men follow the soldiers through the night, and out into the fields, tracking to quickly find the escaped prisoner. One of them is the man Pip met. When he returns from the escort, he recognizes the boy. He says he is craving. So he goes to Pip's house and steals some food. Knowing the lies, but Pip and Joe agreed. Don't want to expose him. Joe also tells Pip, even if one makes a mistake, you cannot let another starve to death. The man is very touched hearing that. At the same time, he also tries to remember Pip's face in his heart. In the village, there is a monstrous aristocrat, Lady Havisham. She wants to use the money to hire a boy. Because of money, Pip's sister brings Pip to her mansion. This building is deserted, it is too old and in ruins. Havisham is actually just a quirky temperament. She wears a tattered wedding dress with her adopted daughter Estella all year round. Live in this dark, torn building. Pip feels scared when entering here. Havisham tells him about her traumatic past. Years ago, she entered the church in a wedding dress. But that day, the groom sends a proposal rejection letter. Therefore, until now, she is still in pain. Estella is enthusiastic about Pip, sometimes ignoring him. From the moment he arrives here, Pip realizes he will have to go through the hard days. Even so, Pip has a huge crush on Estella. Two people bury in their hearts the seed of love. Once, Estella gently lets him kiss her cheek. This sweet kiss that makes Pip full of hope for an upper-class world. He aspires to become a rich man. But Havisham disgusts Pip's brother-in-law. Because Pip wants to become a blacksmith, she takes out a bag of money for Pip, and doesn't let him stay here. Pip and Estella meet in a hurry, and also says goodbye to each other quickly. A few years later, Pip grows up. He is in the forge repeatedly hitting hard hammers. But deep down he just wants to become rich. Because he always remembers Estella. He can't stay as an ordinary man. Marry Estella becomes Pip's great expectation. That day, the famous London attorney comes to the smithy. He wants Pip to end his relationship with Joe. At the same time will pay 25 oceans as a compensation fee. The strange thing is, he says someone wants to nurture Pip to become a gentleman. That money makes Joe think. Although he is happy for Pip, his heart is still worried for Pip. From a poor background, can Pip be able to live well in London? Because of the so-called great expectation, Pip determines to leave the smithy. To go to London to learn how to become an elite person. He orders a garment, and is filled with excitement to meet Havisham. At this point, intuition tells him that this anonymous person this is the woman he wants to meet. He thinks she wants to help him with everything to make up his marriage with Estella. Pip expresses gratitude, and she also admits with a nod. Go to the beautiful city of London. Pip meets his childhood friend again. Then become good friends with the other lawyer. Each month he receives a sum of money. Very quickly joins the class as an elite. Trying to become a gentleman. But Pip becomes endlessly happy, spending money without regret. Luxury life turns him from a sincere youth man. Gradually become a selfish and spoiled person. Joe goes to London to visit Pip. At the same time conveying the words of Havisham. Pip feels dissatisfied with his brother-in-law's actions. Even his attitude becomes arrogant towards Joe. Finding this out, Joe feels very hurtful. He leaves. When Pip's mind and spirit go away, how will his life be? Not long after that, Estella also arrives in London. As arranging by Havisham, she conveniently enters the upper society. Bases on her talent and beauty. She becomes a target of the pursuit of many men. Seeing Estella as surrounded by many people, including Judge, a very rich man, Pip feels miserable and self-conscious. Not long after, he confesses to Estella his feelings. But Estella is taught by Havisham to become a cold woman with an iron heart. She tells Pip that, "I do not believe in men's feelings." But she is different from Havisham, still a little more honest. She reminds Pip not to step deep into this. She even says this is all just a Havisham trap. But Pip is angry. These words cannot reach his ears. The night comes by, a man enters Pip's room. He is the culprit that younger Pip helps. Pip doesn't expect that. It turns out that for many years, he never forgets the child. To repay him, he is in exile day and night. Earn a lot of money. He ventures back to London just because he wants to meet Pip once. The escaped prisoner is named Magwitch. In the past, only living off stealing. That year Magwitch and his accomplices together they deceive Havisham's properties. And the man, who plays with Havisham's feelings is Magwitch. After that, his accomplice turns around. Pours all the guilt on his head. In the end, he is sentenced to exile for 14 years. And the accomplice is fined only 2 years. From the attorney Pip, he also finds out the unbelievable truth. Estella's father is also Magwitch. Her mother also nearly dies. Because of the wife of the accomplice. The lawyer saves her mother. Lets her stay in the house as a maid. He even lies that her daughter is dead. But in fact, he brings Estella to Havisham. Pip hurries back to his hometown. Havisham admits it is deliberately misleading. Deliberately letting Pip assume she is his helper. Seeing that Estella is about to go into her car's fall, Havisham feels regretful. A month ago, Estella wanted to get rid of her control. Agrees to Judge's proposal. It turns out that Havisham lets Estella go seduce men for a long time. Then leaves them one by one. Like removing the hatred in her own heart. The innocent Pip is just one of them. To this day, Havisham begs Pip's forgiveness. She realizes that Estella is determined to marry Jug. It is her selfishness. After listening, Pip leaves angrily. At this time, a candle unfortunately falls. Burn the wedding dress that Havisham is wearing. Pip hears a cry for help, and heads back to the living room. Trying to put out the fire. Mrs. Havisham is no longer breathing. As for Magwitch, if this time he is caught, he will definitely be punished. Get the help of a lawyer. Pip arranges to help Magwitch escape. He and a friend row to take Magwitch away. Unexpectedly the companion heralds the incident. A team of police come and gather the two. Magwitch knows he can't escape. Should be determined to fight a traitor. As a result, he is beaten to the ground, then drowned in the sea. Magwitch is locked in prison. Property is also confiscated. Before he dies, Pip at the side takes care of him and tells him his daughter is still alive. He himself loves her very much. Magwitch finishes listening, sheds one last tear, rests in peace. Many events cause Pip to collapse. Joe hears the news, immediately goes to London to silently help Pip. Waiting until he regains consciousness, Joe quietly leaves. Pip returns to his hometown, begging Joe for forgiveness. Pig realizes that he is too passionate about fame and fortune. Turns into an accident. Fortunately, Joe lets that slide. He and his new wife live happily. Everything is back to the way it is. Under the help of a childhood friend, Pip starts trading, working hard. He becomes a famous merchant. His career is at its peak, his passion finally is back. One day, Pip meets Estella again. This time she becomes a widow. The two people walk together silently. Estella's love of salvation with Pip. The brotherhood between Pip and Joe. And Pip's intense love for Estella. These three kinds of love throughout the movie. The movie ends here. Through the movie, author Dickens wants to tell us, people in poverty must be persistent with their own dreams. Must be brave to move on. You can't lose yourself while being rich. Never stop working. Instead of aspiring to the splendor of others. Light the fire in your heart. Go out to sea by yourself. Fulfill your own great expectations. Thank you for watching with us. See you in the next exciting movies.